I can't get this grin off my face. Whoa, that's fast. Like a boss. I'm expecting that today is going to hurt. It's hard going today. It's the third longest navigable river in the world, Australia's Murray River. It marks the state border between New South Wales and Victoria before it meanders its way into South Australia. The mighty Murray begins its long winding journey on the western slopes of the Snowy Mountains, gradually building in size as it makes its way through 2,500 kilometres of farmland, forest, towns, bush, shack communities, cliffs and wetlands, before reaching the Great Southern Ocean. I'm starting my through paddle of the river near the small town of Walwa. And she's off! Holy moly! That is a big current. Alright. This is going to be fun! Started! It's happening! And the current is so fast. This is awesome. I can't get this grin off my face. That's awesome. Gosh, it's so different up here. I can hear water flowing very fast. So okay, well, we're into our first little bit of swift water. It's not rapids. Most of the noise is coming from a few branches that are in the water, which is good. But the water is moving a lot. A lot for what I'm used to. That water is racing through there. Ah, she's good. Ah, this is awesome. Love it. God, I can't believe how fast I'm moving. This is so cool. Ah, no worries. Don't know what I was worried about. There will be plenty more of those. Take it cautiously and see how we go. So, as a South Australian that has never seen this end of the river before, how would I describe the flow? Fast. I would say it's pushing me along at about 4 kilometres an hour. And in these sections where it's nice and flat, it's, you know, just a nice lazy float down the river. There are some sections that are a bit hairy for us that haven't been in rapidly running wide rivers before. I've come across a couple of bits where I just paid a bit more attention. So far there's been somewhere to pull out and scout each of the areas if you wanted to beforehand. It is such fantastic weather to start. I thought it was going to be bucketing rain today and tomorrow. Tomorrow might still rain. So what? It is going to rain. It is winter. It sounds like a waterfall's coming up. Let's hope it's not, eh? class that as a rapid. Just past my first campers. Fantastic spot, and they had it all to themselves. Oh, there's some remains of an old bridge up here. This must be Gingelic, must be there already. Oh, it's shallow. Right. Gird your loins, girl. You're going in. Whoa, that's fast. Alright. Giddy up. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay. Let's go under the Gingelic Bridge. Bridge 1. Ah, this is brilliant. So much fun. So I've just paddled 22 kilometres from launch this morning, which was at 10:45, until 1 o'clock. So given how fast the river's flowing, that's not a very fast pace, but I'm not in a hurry. I'm taking it easy and yeah, really soaking this up. Okay, I thought I would give you a little tour of how I've packed my boat, because hopefully it's going to get better over time. There is a lot of stuff in there at the moment, and I know I've brought too much stuff, but I will whittle it down once I decide what I'm not going to use. Even when I'm sitting still, I'm moving at about 4 kilometres an hour still. It's awesome. Although there's been a few slower sections, the majority of today has been like this. A nice swift current. You do have to pay attention to where you're going. There are plenty of logs and rocks in the middle of the river that you do have to avoid. Speaking of which, I am floating backwards, so I probably should turn around. All day I'd been seeing these large holes in the sides of the riverbank and was wondering what could have made them. They're about the size of a basketball, and it wasn't until after sunset that I realised what had made them, when I saw a wombat emerge from this burrow. He stopped and considered me for a few seconds before he made his way up onto the grassy flats above. An amazing encounter for my first night on the river. Day 2. There we go. Like a boss. I've just stopped on this little beach to get some blood back into my feet. The river's a lot deeper today. It's a cold day today. It's only got to 13 degrees. It only got down to about 6 overnight, so it wasn't too cold. But it hasn't warmed up. The river's quite different today. It's not as narrow and shallow, therefore it's not as fast in most of the river. There are still a few fast sections, but they're few and far between now. So I suspect it's going to be like this all the way to the dam. Make a decision. I made the wrong one. Okay, let's go left. Let's go left. Oh dear. I didn't realise it at the time, but I'd just entered Lake Hume. The bare muddy banks and dead gum trees in the water should have given it away, but it still looks like a river to me. Had I known, I would have started looking for a campsite a lot sooner. The only good ground to camp on was occupied by cattle, so quicksand or deep muddy banks and soggy ground behind them were my only options this afternoon. I finally found somewhere that would suffice around sunset, just as the heavy rain set in. Day 3. I'm expecting that today is going to hurt. I'm a bit tired. Yeah, it's windy out there today and cold. So it's going to be a short day for me today, and that's perfectly okay. I'm basically going to paddle about 15 kilometres and then start looking for a camp. History would say that I won't find a camp for another 5 to 10 kilometres anyway. But if I find one at 15 and it's good, then I'm taking it. I've got quite a bit of gear to dry out today. It bucketed down yesterday when I was putting up my tent, and so pretty much everything got absolutely drenched.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors lost within a haze. Don't rely on others to get you through the maze.
This is sludgy. Alright, I'm gonna have to get out quite deep to be able to take off.
Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea. Do not take this.
Alright, that wasn't so bad. Let's see if we can actually move.
There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea. There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open.
Whew, it's hard going today. It was always my plan to do day 3 as a short day. So that is what it's going to be if it at all can be. Campsites are a little bit few and far between since I left mine this morning. So I'm hoping that as I go around the corner there'll be a few flat spots that I can perch myself on for the night. This lake is just full of dead gum trees. It's like a gum tree graveyard. It's interesting because I'm paddling over a 60% full Hume reservoir, I think. And Google Maps has obviously taken its imagery when it was a lot shallower. So Google Maps shows you where the deepest part of the lake is. But at the moment I'm basically able to pick whichever route I like because it's all underwater at the moment. That's good for paddling, not so good for finding a campsite. Oh well, it's great that the reservoir is so full. It's been so empty for so long. So I've just pulled up to stop for lunch and found that these steep beaches actually aren't so bad to climb out on. You do have to pick your spot, but if you can find a fallen bit of wood that's buried in the sand, it gives you a decent footing. Your foot doesn't sink down to your calves, and so it's okay. I'm feeling a bit more confident now about stopping and having a look and jumping back in. Yesterday I wasn't so keen to do that because I'd tried it a couple of times and did sink into the sand. Almost lost my shoes. I'm wearing almost all of my clothes at the moment. It's only got to 8 degrees today, so it's a bit chilly. lighting of the first fire of the season. Let's hope she goes well. Oh yeah, nice one. Tonight I am having kedgeree, which is basically curried rice with smoked fish and egg. I love kedgeree. This is one of my favourite dinners, and it's been ages since I've had it, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I've earned it today. Yum. So good. So, day 3 was a challenging day. Day 3 is always a bit of an issue because I always get the day 3 blues. But I'd planned for that and decided I wasn't going to do a big day anyway, regardless of how I was feeling. So what turned out to be the case was that I did 11 Ks. I knew the wind was going to be hard today. It was forecast to be 20 to 24 kilometres an hour. It turned out to be 30 to 37 kilometres an hour. Headwind, of course. And Lake Hume is actually a very long, narrow lake that obviously is in a valley. The wind was just relentless. There was very few places to hide, to have a break today. I don't have the benefit of willows up this end of the river, and so, well, not in Lake Hume anyway. There are above the lake, but as soon as you hit the lake, it just turns into muddy slopes and dead gum trees. I found this spot today. I actually went past it and then looked back and thought, actually, that looks pretty nice. And I'm so glad I did. I was going very slowly. Whenever I did manage to get a break, I stopped for quite a while. I think I stopped for at least 45 minutes for lunch. I just wasn't feeling it today. So half an hour before sunset, I put my tent up when the wind was dropping out. In the meantime, I just walked up the hill and enjoyed the beautiful scenery that there is. I mean, if you're not battling the elements down on the lake, it's actually a gorgeous part of the world, even on a windy day. I have had a fire tonight, and I enjoyed a couple of glasses of the bottle of wine that my dad gave me as a parting gift. Yeah, definitely enjoyed tonight. It's been a real refresher. So I'm hoping that tomorrow is going to be a nice boost. I should get a good night's sleep. It's cold tonight. It's getting down to 5 degrees. Well, as low as 2 is what the forecast says. This is the coldest it's been in a long time, and so ordinarily I wouldn't be shivering in this cold. Because it's the first one of the season, I'm feeling it. It's nice and warm under my quilt, so that's fine. But yeah, sitting around the fire tonight was just a bit chilly.